Have you ever wanted your own Airbnb property, but you weren't sure how to furnish it, how to pay for all of the furniture that's going to be needed? Well, on this episode, I'm going to be telling you exactly how to find these hidden gems. Stay tuned. How do we find short-term furnished rental properties? This is a question that has racked many of minds, and I have the answer for you. On this episode, I'm going to talk to you directly about, number one, where you would look to find these properties. Two, how to get them for yourself before anybody else finds them. And three, how to not overpay to get them so that you can make the biggest profits on your Airbnb. When I'm looking for furnished short-term rental properties, the first thing that I do, or that you'll need, is find an investor-friendly real estate agent. Now, I know I've made a few other videos where I talked about real estate agents and what their role is and, what you can do with them. And in many cases, not very much. But in this case, this is going to be one where I'm telling you, you need a very specific real estate agent. You need an investor-friendly real estate agent. And again, I've made videos on how to find that. I'm going to put some links up there for you. But let's talk about what that means and how to find them. So, real estate agents all have what's called a niche. Some real estate agents like to show properties to potential buyers. Other real estate agents like to work with people that are trying to sell their homes. And then there's real estate agents that like working with investors. There's some that like working on commercial properties. A myriad of different types of niches within the real estate game. So when we are talking about finding furnished rental properties, we need to find an expert. You need to find a real estate agent that handles investment properties. These real estate agents are the key to finding furnished rental properties before they ever hit MLS. So when landlords have a property that they want to rent out, they usually put it on a website or they call a real estate agent and they put it in what's called MLS, multiple listing services. And those properties are blasted out to the public and most people can find them on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, your favorite website, Redfin, blah, blah, blah. So pretty easy to find properties that are for rent or for sale that are in MLS. But there are real estate agents that work just with real estate investors. And so many of them are aware of properties that are coming to market or that are on the market that are owned by a landlord, and many of them are furnished rental properties, okay? Many rental properties are furnished. They're not all unfurnished, but you have to search very specifically for furnished rental properties, and you have to know how to do it. Now, I could give you some information on how to do this. I'm a licensed agent in a few states, but every state is different. So that's why I'm not going to give you specifically where to find it in MLS, but I'm telling you for sure, every single MLS, you can search for the properties, rental properties that are for lease, furnished versus unfurnished. And all you need to do is check that little box for furnished, and you'll have a list right there. The second thing that you want to do once you have met those investor-friendly real estate agents, or let's just say you were never able to find one. I'm gonna give you a crazy situation where you couldn't find a real estate agent to help you with this. So you found your own search, okay? All you need to do is go to Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Redfin, whichever website that you go to find properties that are in the MLS. Now again, not gonna give you any specific sites to go to because we all have our preference. But all of the sites like Realtor.com and Zillow, they all are pulling the data from the MLS. And all you have to do is make your search for searches with furnished properties. And then what you want to do is set alerts so that when those new properties come to market, you are notified immediately, because these properties usually go very quickly. Even if the furniture in the property isn't the best of furniture, it's still furniture and it's still saving you money. So even if you don't like all of it, you still have some rooms that you will like for sure and that you can make money off of or switch the decor around and do a few things with. So when you get your search, make sure you set your notifications so that you get alerts as new properties enter the market that are furnished. The third thing, and this is gonna be a little bit tricky, you want to have a business phone number, okay? When you are dealing with real estate agents and telling people that you're going to do this as a business, you want to make sure that you are a business in many ways and that you have a professional phone number with a great voicemail setup already that's professional. Because one of the things, like I said, you have to be ready to go. These properties go very quickly. You're going to have those alerts on. You're going to be ready to go. So you want to have a number that is specific for this type of business, for your Airbnb business, for your short-term rental business, however you want to call it. And so if you have a professional phone number, which you can get from Google or Freedom Voice or Grasshopper or whichever service you want to use, it's a professional number so that when they call, you know exactly why they're calling, okay? Now, I get it. Some of us have cell phones and maybe you get a lot of calls like me. And oftentimes when we see numbers that we don't recognize, we don't answer them. And that's a big problem with this business because you need to be able to act quickly and you need to answer your phone. So with your regular cell phone, you may not know who's calling or if this is about your business. But if you have another phone number dedicated specifically for your Airbnb business and for alerts from real estate agents and landlords and real estate investors, people in the business with furnished rental properties for you, you want to be ready to go and you want to have a phone number dedicated for them that you check on a regular basis and that has a very professional voicemail should you have to send that person a voicemail. And the last thing that you want to do in order to secure profitable furnished rental properties is you want to make sure that you're already qualified, okay? Now again, this is so easy because when you're buying a house, getting qualified is a little bit more difficult. You have to usually show a lot of paperwork, a lot of income documents. But when we're talking about a lease, the threshold for what you need to qualify is usually a little bit lower, but you still need to get qualified so that you are ready to go and so that you are in a position to grab and snag those properties before all the other people start applying. The great thing about short-term rental properties is that many of them can be furnished, which will save you a ton of money and allow you to just be turnkey and just go with your business, get the property listed. In many cases, we get our properties listed on Airbnb and some of these other websites before we're even ready, okay? We just start going. We know the timeline and we know what we're gonna get for the property. So we may go ahead and start listing the property and prepping the property and getting it ready and having bookings before we ever have to make a payment, okay? So that's the key to this. You want to be set up where you're qualified and you're ready to go and you have all of the things in place so that you can get the property listed immediately before you even have to make that first rent payment. So now that I've given you all of the steps that you need to get you a furnished rental property, you are ready to go. So I'm going to take this moment, of course, at this moment and ask you please, please, please to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and click that notification bell so that you can see when all of the videos are added. I'm adding new content every single day for you, creating an entire course on this YouTube channel, basically for free, just for you. To your success.